Today I'm just going to be teaching you on how to find the domain and range of functions. So to find the domain, what we're going to do is we're going to calculate all the x values from negative infinity to positive infinity. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first one, we're going to use a bracket. So it's -4 because it is a closed circle. And also this is a closed circle. Therefore, we're just going to use a bracket. So this is the x values of the domain. Now from range, we're just going to uh, look for the all values of y. So here, as you can see here, this is through -3, and we're going to use bracket because it is a closed circle. And here, we're going to use a closed circle. So this is the domain and range of this function. Now let's go ahead and try this one. So as again, the domain is going to be -infinity to positive infinity, and we're going to use all of the x values. So now we're going to use bracket and the parenthesis on the infinity, because this thing will just continue to rise up till positive infinity. Now let's calculate the range. The range is going to be, although this is not drawn to scale, we're just going to use -3, and we're going to use bracket, and then this thing, it will just continue to positive infinity. So therefore we're going to use infinity here again. So we're going to put a parenthesis instead of a bracket. Now let's try this one. So the domain is just all the possible x values from -infinity to positive infinity, and as we can see here, the x values, they just continuous, right? So we're going to put -infinity to positive infinity, and that's all parentheses, not brackets. Or we can just write it as all real numbers, not this symbol. We're going to use a capital R because n is for natural numbers. Just put like this. Now, what about the range? How do we calculate the range? We're just going to look for -infinity to positive infinity on the y direction. So this is from -infinity to 3, and we're going to use bracket there. Now let's go and try this one. Find the domain and range of the functions. And so how do we calculate this one? So for the domain, this is just going to be -6. And we got -1. We're going to use a close bracket. Union. We're going to use union, -1 to 5, and we're going to use bracket there. Now to calculate the range, we're just going to look for the y values from -infinity to y to positive infinity. So at -4, we're going to use our parenthesis and a bracket to -2, union 1 to 4, and close bracket. So actually the domain can be written not in this way. We did a mistake here. So we can just write it as, we're not going to put union though, and we're going to remove -1 because they are just basically aligned in the x value. So we're going to use 5. So that's 5. Now if you answer that correctly, you can answer this too. So we're just going to make this quick. So we get this. So you can pause the video and restart this thing. So the range is going to be -5, -4, union -3. We're going to use bracket, union 2, union 5 to infinity, because it's going to be in infinity. So that's basically it for this problem. I hope you learned something, and goodbye.